Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 7 of the Sim Racer's Edge Alpha Series presented to you by ecenc.com. We are here today at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Battle on the Mississippi at Gateway. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, joined alongside Rick Ravon, bringing you the action here tonight. 1080p 60 frames a second. Folks, as drivers get their qualifying ready and started for today's race, I have a feeling that being back here at the oval, on an oval, I should say, things are going to be a little interesting here, as well as we have some information that the track here is going to be rather difficult on those cold tires, and as we are also starting out with the lights on at the track, so it is going to be a little bit colder here today. 77 degrees, not too cold, but going to be serving some interesting track conditions. Rick, what are your thoughts on today's race, and kind of walk us through what are some past experiences that you might have had here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, if any, and if SRE has had any in the past as well.
If any, he says. Yeah, I've been here a lot. Mason. This is a great racetrack. It's kind of like a paperclip. One end of the track is much tighter than the other end. Turns 1 and 2 are very tight, but the good news is you can run high, you could run low, you can pass on either side if you get the car right. Turns 3 and 4 are pretty wide open. If you get it down to the inside, there's a lot of grip on the inside, but you want to stay out of the guy, whoever you're following, you definitely want to stay out of his wake, because you'll lose the air to the front of the car and you'll just start pushing like crazy. So these guys, I've been watching them practice, and they've been doing a great job passing each other. However, there have been a lot of spins, even with some of the contenders, the championship contenders, Butch Davis, Nate Siefker, Chad Simpson. They've all been around, and I've seen a lot of people spinning. So they're still having trouble out there. But the thing is, on cold tires is very, very difficult. Once the tires warm up, it does get a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely, and I almost expect to see that from a lot of drivers here today as well. They're going to be aware of that issue right out of the gate here, as we have some of our drivers already completing their official timed laps for the qualifying here today. Lyle Swearingen being one of those drivers completing his second timed lap for today. Jeffrey Rowlett going to be the third, well, among few here, going to be trying to place himself on the timing tower here today. It's Lyle Swearingen in the first place spot, with Chris Simard in the 77 holding on to that second place spot. And now Chad Simpson in that 42 machine taking third place here out of nowhere. And today it's going to be quite the field of drivers here, Rick. I see almost 25 drivers, it looks like, based on my count here, just a rough count. Not exact, but looking like we have quite the field to be entertained with, as 13 drivers have completed their official times here. Look at this. Timmy Bates, 20 in the 21 machine, goes very wide there. I think that was out of turn 2.
Keep an eye on number 43, Butch Davis, because he's definitely a pole contender right now. Lyle Swearingen.
Oh, no.
Butch goes around in turn 4. That's going to crush his run.
Butch
I don't
Davis.
think now he might be able to get back to the pits and maybe get one lap in, but I think your optimal lap would be on lap 2. I wasn't watching, so I don't know if he completed that first lap or not. Now, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I wasn't exactly watching with Butch Davis either, but it looks like, based on timing, he has not completed any of his official qualifying laps here. So with just under a minute and a half left, he's going to have to really get on that gas here and hopefully put down those times here before the end of qualifying. Actually, I believe we actually have 10 minutes of qualifying, not 5 that I am normally accustomed to in my normal day-to-day broadcasting work here. But here for the SRE series, it is going to be actually 10 minutes. So, Rick, with that in mind here, 140 laps that we are going to be doing here for the race here, and about 40 or so laps, 36 to 38 laps, we'll call it 40 on the high side.
They could probably get to 40. They probably could. Those who can serve can get to 40, I believe.
Absolutely. And with that in mind, I almost have to wonder, is there going to be any struggles kind of at the start of the race, or even just after coming out of those pits, after you get that fresh set of tires? Is there anyone that we're going to be kind of looking for, or maybe just everyone in general, just kind of struggling to get those tires warm out of the gate here?
Well, everybody's going to have trouble with the tires when they're cold because they are really treacherous. I ran about 15 or 20 laps here just to shake my Gould Charge, which Butch Davis incidentally painted for me, to shake it down and get a feel for the track. And on cold tires, like I said before, definitely treacherous. And it's not it's not just for any particular person; it's for the entire field. So the start of this race could be very dangerous today.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to agree with you there, Rick. And, I almost regret going back on my original assumption that it was 10 minutes because it was actually 5 minutes. But that is A-okay here, folks. We have a short break here for drivers to get themselves ready for the rest of the race, as well as their brief drivers meeting here before the green flag drops here for this first time. But before we get ready for that and for the action to start here, Rick, what are your predictions? Turn 1, lap 1 here at Weather. I forget the name of the track already here, Rick.
Oh, this is Gateway.
Gateway.
Incidentally. Of course, we have to go all corporate and call it, Worldwide Technology Raceway. But for crying out loud, it's Gateway. I mean, it's in Gateway for crying out loud, so it's Gateway.
The two names kind of threw me off there, Rick. It's Worldwide Technology Raceway, and then I hear Gateway.
It's kind of like Giant Stadium. Oh, now it's MetLife Stadium. Can't we just stick with Giant Stadium?
Yeah,
Yankee Stadium's still Yankee Stadium. That's iconic. That's not sponsored by anybody. What is it going to be? Announce the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gamebridge. Do we really need that for the greatest spectacle in racing? I mean, come on.
Absolutely. But with only 3.5 minutes here before we get started, and a few drivers already getting themselves spun around on the track here, just getting themselves, again, warmed up and ready for the start of the race here today, we are going to take a quick commercial break here, folks. Get ourselves ready to go for the start of the race here, and hopefully we will come to the start of a phenomenal race here at Gateway. 140 laps that we're going to be completing here today. Again, my name is Mason Heimbaugh and Rick Ravon joining alongside here today, bringing you the action here today. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we will be back for more of the battle on the Mississippi at Gateway. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, folks, for more iRacing here on Team Goon Squad.
I recently joined ESNC and discovered the Need for Speed community. It's the perfect place for me to share my simulation driving experience with people all around the world. Thanks in no small part to all the support from ESNC, Sim Racers Edge is able to stream our races live each week for all our fans. I invite you to join ESNC today to follow Sim Racers Edge all season long. Okay. Decency. It's great. I'm having a blast driving around. Yeah, that was a fast lap.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah? What are you doing, man?
I'm just writing a quick post to the Need for Speed community on Decency.
A what? For who community?
The Need for Speed community. It's the community on Hive that's all about racing.
How do I get into this?
Just go to ecency.com, sign up for an account, and download the app.
Dude, that's really cool. But now you gotta go.
Yeah, I'm on there every day.
No. I mean, go, man. Go.
Okay, let's go.
Welcome back, race fans, with just under a minute and a half, well, almost a minute and a half left here in the warm-up. We are going to get ready for quite an exciting race here for the start of round number 7 of the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series 2022. Now, before we get started for today's race, just very quickly, we're going to take a quick look at our point standings. I apologize if things are a little bit blurry for folks at home. I do apologize for that. But looking at the moment, Butch Davis going to be our current leader still at the moment after race number 6. That was last week. He's currently holding on to that first place spot with 200 points. Nate Siefker just behind him with 191. Chad Simpson in third place with 167, so a bit of a gap there between second and third place. But Butch Davis, Nate Siefker, 9 points separates these two, but for the lead for the championship for the Alpha Series here. And I gotta say, Rick, with that close of a gap, I gotta say, these drivers are both going to be fighting tooth and nail throughout the season. but you'd almost expect these drivers to have some calculated and very strategic, I guess, moves for each other throughout the season here. Now, we're not always going to see them battling out side by side, wheel to wheel, as we haven't really seen a whole lot of that.
Might.
Yeah, you might. But
when you're talking about the championship from a competitive standpoint right now, you're talking about those three drivers: Butch Davis, Chad Simpson, and Nate Siefker. And the interesting thing is, if you look at the statistics, which we can't see on the screen right now, Butch Davis has the highest average finish thus far this season through 6 races, 2.8. The second highest, Chad Simpson, at 6.0. Nate Siefker, 6.1. So Butch Davis has this consistency factor going for him, not to mention he's won 2 races, just like, Nate Siefker's won 3. Lyle Swearington has Swearingen. I got to get that right. There's no T in Swearingen. He's won a race, but Butch Davis has won 2. So he's got a real consistent thing going.
yeah, absolutely. And as our starting grid is here and ready for us, the drivers lined up behind the pace car here, we have Lyle Swearingen actually in the 68, starting out in first place with Chris Simard in the 77 in that second place spot. Rounding out your first row, it's Yari Brupatcher in the 89. In third, Chad Simpson in the 42 machine. In fourth place, rounding out your second row, Jake Walsh in the 33. In fifth place, Jeffrey Rowlett in the 66, taking that sixth place spot. Rounding out your third row, Jeff Hollingsworth in the 97, taking seventh. Dan Brazington in the 29, going to be in 8th place with Butch Davis in the 43. In that 9th place spot, Nate Siefker taking that 10th place spot in the number 2 machine. Rick, round us out here.
Bentley Glazer, Chris Walker, they're in that next row, and then it's Jeffrey Bogan and Timmy Bates. The very exciting Timmy Bates. If you ever have a chance to talk to this guy, you'll really enjoy it. He is just a bundle of energy. Ryan Cruz and Mike Grandy will follow him, and then it's Ernie Ludwig, Paul Crumry, Jose Miguel Phillips Vigura, Kevin Young. I'm seeing Brett Beasley down there, but I don't see him on the racetrack. Ron Hollifield, Kevin O'Brien, and Shane Loveridge. And that's your 24 cars for today's race at Gateway.
24 cars deep here at Raceway. Rick, it's going to be quite the interesting race here, I have to say. And with Lyle Swearingen, Chris Simard both going to be out here in the front. Gotta love that Mountain Dew Voltage paint scheme on that 77 machine. That's got, Rick, I think you actually mentioned it before that it was one of your favorites, and I'm starting to love it here personally as well. It is definitely a very awesome paint scheme there on that 77.
It's definitely a pretty paint scheme. As the field is now lined up behind the pace car, they're in turn 3. They're about to exit turn 4. Chris Simard, Lyle Swearingen on the pole. He looks for the starter. The starter has the green flag in hand, and the green flag drops. Lyle Swearingen gets on, they call it the loud pedal. There they go, and the race is underway at Gateway. Swearingen quickly jumps to the lead. Yari Brupatcher jumps to second place. Chris Simard around the outside trying to keep the momentum. He now maintains second place, but it's side by side, and we've got a yellow already. Already the yellow flag is out.
It's Chris Walker involved in this one here. The 23 machine looks like to have been involved in a single car incident.
Nope, he was involved with somebody else.
Let's take a look at what happened here. Let's actually back things up here. Our scoring and timing.
Bogan.
Jeffrey
Bogan.
All right, let's play things here from this perspective.
See what happened.
Wire. Oh, wow.
It looks like there may have been a little bit of net code. They didn't seem like they were close enough to make contact. I'm going to take another look on my screen over here from a different angle and see what I could come up with here.
We're going to ride on board here with the folks at home from the perspective of Jeffrey Bogan, just to give an idea.
Big net code. Look at it. If you could do the same in-car shot from Chris Walker's perspective, you'll see the right front tire is at least a good foot away.
All right, let's take a look here. Let's jump back to Chris Walker's view here. Let's take things back here just a little bit. Yeah, that does look quite a bit like netcode damage. I apologize, folks, that things are kind of quiet for yourselves at home as we.
Oh, look right here. See, he was clear.
Oh,
and
that, yeah, absolutely.
there.
Big net
What a
code there.
shame. Chris Walker had such a great race last week at Barber. He was running up there in the top 3 and challenging for second for a while, and then he had a miscue, and it was just downhill from there. But still a decent run for Chris, but we were hoping for a little bit better for him this week at Gateway. But unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. That's a lot of damage, and he's still in the pits as we speak. He's been in the pits for almost 2 minutes now, and as far as the victory is concerned today, Chris Walker's done.
Yeah, that's going to be game over for the 23 machine. He's going to have to take it behind the wall and ultimately just have to finish the race from behind the wall here. That's a shame, too.
Jeff Bogan's coming out of the pits, incidentally.
So Jeffrey Bogan, after also being collected in that incident here as well, going to be making his way back out onto track. I wonder if Jeffrey didn't suffer as much.
No, he definitely didn't. He definitely didn't. It was a 42-second stop in the box for Jeff Bogan. Meanwhile, Chris Walker's still there, and it's 2.5 minutes and counting. So Bogan, at the moment, I think, is he a lap down? I'm not showing him as a lap down quite yet, actually. He's in 21st place, but he may have escaped and stayed on the lead lap.
He does appear to be on the lead lap here. I believe, yeah, he actually has caught up to Bentley Glazer in the 4 machine in 20th right now. So he's joining the rest of the field here as we're getting ready to, I think, quite possibly go green here. Yes, we are. The lights are off on the pace car. We are coming down the back straight. We're going to come into turn 3 and out of turn 4. And that will allow us to go green here once again and pose the opportunity for Lyle Swearingen to, on this single file restart, give himself a little bit of a gap here, quite possibly. I am honestly a little surprised that we're going to go single file here, lap 4 of 140. I'm sure that there was
These are Indy cars. They do single file starts. I know that NASCAR does double wide, but Indy cars do the single file starts, and we're back under green. Lyle Swearingen still with the lead. Begins to pull away just a bit. Chad Simpson now comes around Buff Patcher around the outside. He should have the momentum. There he goes. He hangs on to it. 3rd place for Chad Simpson. Watch for Chad. Also, we should drop back. Nate Siefker and Butch Davis, 1 and 2 in the points right now. They're running 9th and 10th. So this should be an interesting battle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I was mentioning it earlier, Rick. We were kind of talking about how these two might not see each other quite often.
On the inside, making a move.
Look at this. Butch Davis down low.
It's treacherous down there, especially on cold tires. But Butch gets the job done. Nate's going to come right back. He looks low. He looks high. And now Butch is looking to get around Dan Bracington. Can he stick it down to the inside? He does. He should have. Well, let's watch. Now, look at Bracington. Bracington, not known to be the Indy cars aren't his strong suit. He's actually stronger in the stock cars, but Bracington has been doing a fabulous job in these open wheel cars.
Yeah, and all of these drivers here have done an incredible job throughout this series here already. And it looks like Nate Siefker there, after almost going 3 wide just a few turns ago, he's now approaching the rear end, the rear wing of the 43 of Butch Davis, getting very, very close there.
He's going to try to do the same thing to Davis that Davis did to him in turn 1, but no, Nate backs out of it and says, you know what, I'm not taking that chance down there. The low line is the shorter way around, but it's actually the track flattens out a little bit down there. So if you get it done right, you can get by, but if you get it wrong, it's very easy to get that back end to come around.
Yeah, you know, and it's, I had a race happen a few days ago that it was that same exact situation, and to come here and have kind of the same thing happen here again, it's like deja vu. But as we're looking at Nate Siefker now start to get challenged a little bit by Timmy Bates in the 21. He's up high. Timmy Bates, a driver that we saw earlier in practice, getting a little bit loose and loosey-goosey with the car, but here in 11th right now, up 3 spots from where he started, as Nate Siefker down on the inside of Dan Brasington here, as they almost go wheel to wheel. Nate doing a great job there, trying to just trail behind Dan Brazington and find that opportunity to get around for that 9th place spot here. But Rick, we have kind of battles forming all over the place at the moment. Yari Brewpatcher, Jake Walsh battling for 4th, and Lyle Swearingen, actually, he's kind of starting to see 2nd place start to catch up to him a little bit, but he's holding on to 1st place just by a sliver at this point in time.
Well, you remember Nate Siefker last week at Barber, absolutely dominated the event. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nate Siefker is the class of the field on the road courses. I don't think there's anybody in the field that can really give it a go with him as far as his pace is concerned. And he's also very smart. Really can't touch him on a road course. However, we come to the ovals, and I've said it before, the ovals are the great equalizer. Nate Siefker running in 9th place right now. Butch Davis, by the way, Yari Brewpatcher and Jake Walsh were just running side by side. They're still side by side heading into turn 1. That's a battle for 4th place. But to get back to what I was saying, Siefker is head and shoulders above everybody on the road courses, but the equalizer is the ovals, and we're seeing that today as Tim Bates and Dan Bracington now side by side. Tim Bates picks up the position.
Yeah, we have drivers moving all over the place, and as this race progresses on, as these tires start to warm up, we were talking about it a little bit earlier on in the broadcast, these tires are going to be terribly cold at the beginning of this race, and we saw it happen already. A driver was ultimately, it was ultimately due to net code, but, you know, all of these guys are going to be struggling with that early on, and especially as we
Whoa, Ryan Cruz just almost lost it coming off turn 2.
Let's take a look here. Ryan Cruz.
Ryan Cruz is okay. He's going through 3 and 4 now, but he got sideways coming off 2 and lost it to the inside of the racetrack, but then picked up a lower gear and got it going again. That was a close one.
And look at these drivers starting to form a line behind him, and down beneath him, Ernie Ludwig. That's 26, followed by Kevin Young and Shane Loveridge as well. All just forming a train and just cruising their way around the 99.
They're all running right together. Ryan Cruz comes around Loveridge. He's on the inside line with their side-by-side, almost like a pace lap through turn 3 right there. And Cruz, again, you saw him right there. He got wide coming off the corner and almost brushed the wall coming off 4.
Very, very close. And I almost have to wonder, too, if that's only going to get worse as the night goes on. If we're going to see drivers have to kind of lift off a little bit earlier to save themselves from slapping into the wall, from coming into the turn too hot, too aggressively. Now again, I haven't seen these guys race on ovals a whole lot yet, but from what I have seen, these guys are phenomenal at the ovals, and I fully expect all of these guys here to do a great job here, managing such a difficult track, such as Gateway.
Ron Hollifield at the back of the field. He's running in 20th place right now. I'm watching Ron because just behind Ron is the leader, Lyle Swearingen, and he seems to be only a couple of seconds behind. So the leader of the race is going to start experiencing the slower traffic, and it's not that far down the road. Lyle Swearingen with almost a second on Chris Simard. I talked to Simard before the race. He was in good spirits and really looking forward to this one. He loves the ovals. He's definitely better on the ovals, loves the oval tracks, and was definitely in good spirits. Chad Simpson running in 3rd place right now has fallen back just a bit, 3 seconds behind the leader right now. Yari Brewpatcher, he's in 4th place. Now he runs on the outside. Who's that? That's Jake Walsh, side by side with Jake Walsh. Walsh tried to get around, but Brewpatcher hung on to the spot. But that's a good battle right there for 4th place. And guess who's coming up just behind them? Car number 43, the STP oil treatment special of Butch Davis.
Butch Davis silently working his way through this field up into 6th place, up 3 positions from where he started at the beginning of this race. And, you know, Butch Davis he's proven that he is kind of just the silent killer in this series here. In just the 7 races that we've had already for this series, I've seen Butch Davis kind of just, maybe he doesn't start front of the pack,
but from the outside to the inside. Look at this.
That is expert work there from the 43. Butch Davis behind the wheel as he's going to fall back behind Yari Brewpatcher.
I love watching him race. I've known the guy for so long, a couple of decades and a half now, and he's just so much fun to watch because when he needs to be aggressive, he's aggressive. When he needs to dial it back and just, I don't know, say save the tires, save fuel, he does that. He could be patient and he could be aggressive. He could be patiently aggressive. You just never know what's going to come from him. But one thing you could be sure of, he's going to be at or near the front of the field just about everywhere they go.
Yeah, and that's really what's going to set apart a championship driver from the rest. If you're not able to identify those points in time in the race where, hey, I need to back off a little bit, I'm pushing myself and my car too aggressively, I'm wearing my tires out, I'm burning through fuel, it's just not working, and you're not gaining any results. Here we go again for that 5th place spot now at the moment.
Right there, and Bropatcher shut the door on him.
Here he goes again out of turn 4. And down the front straight here, Butch Davis, Jari Bropatcher going to be almost wheel-to-wheel here, going into turn 1. It's also going to be Jake. Look at this.
He's got Jeffrey Bogan just ahead of him. That's one of his FBR Motorsports teammates. Jeffrey Bogan gives him plenty of room, but look at this.
3 wide.
Again, 3 wide going into turn 3. Butch Davis on the outside is able to keep the momentum and holds on to the position. Butch Davis works his way up. He is now in 5th place, and he started in 9th. That's 4 spots he's gained since the beginning of the day.
26 laps of 140 here today at Gateway. And yeah, that's absolutely impressive here. We haven't even gotten a quarter of the way through the race here, and Butch Davis has already worked his way into the top 5, currently holding on to that 5th place spot here at the moment. But right now, between himself and Jake Walsh in that 4th place spot is nearly, actually just over a second and a quarter. So Butch Davis is going to have a little bit of work here.
Look at this. Oh.
Jeffrey Rowlett.
Jeffrey Rowlett. They were just battling. Rowlett, they were side by side. And, that was just a great battle. He shut the door, and then he finally got around.
Wish I would have tuned to it a little bit sooner for the folks at home so they could tune along. It's A-okay, Rick. And that's sometimes what happens here in a lot of these races. There's just always action forming around the track here. But as we look on with Jeffrey Rowlett in the 66 machine after he suffered he came down quite a few positions, and I'm sure that's going to hurt the 66, being down all the way into 10th place now after starting in that 6th place spot. Rick, being in this position, if you're a driver in this, which you were a driver before you decided to sacrifice yourself to join me here in the booth, if you were in a position like this, if you're in Jeffrey Rowlett's shoes and you just got put down 4, 5, 6 positions, it's still early on in the race. What's your mindset? What's kind of going to be ticking through your head? Walk me through kind of what you think some of these drivers might be doing in a situation like this, but yellow flag flies.
Big accident on the backstretch.
Oh!
Whoa, who was that? Who was involved? Let's scan back. It's
Ron
Timothy
Hollifield,
Timothy Bates, Ron Hollifield. The two of them got together. Oh, what a wreck.
Wow.
Thank God it's a simulation. Like, we got to take a look at that one on replay. That was a big wreck.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what happens here from Ron Hollifield's perspective in the 44 machine. So we take a little bit of a...
Oh, it looks like him and Davis were very close there.
Very, very close. Just a few feet between their wheels there as they come out. I believe this is turn 2.
Did Davis...
Oh, he tried to check up there.
It's hard to tell.
It looked like he possibly thought that Butch Davis was going to collide in with
hard
him.
To tell from that angle.
Here,
but there he is sideways, and look at this. Absolutely T-boned, right? Well, not T-boned, but nowhere to go. Tim Bates. And look at what an avoidance right there. Oh, that wasn't an avoidance. It looks like he clipped him, and another car hit him.
Oh, 2 cars. Jeffrey Rowlett as well. The 21, Timmy Bates.
That was Tim Bates.
Ouch.
The 21.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Let's ride on board here with Ron Hollifield on this replay. I want to see how this kind of all unfolded from the inside of the 44 machine, and we'll try and get a better angle of what happens surrounding him as drivers.
I'm going to try the roll bar camera. Oh, let me see. Here's Butch. There's Butch. The view is a little bit skewed from this point. moves up just a little bit. See that it gets treacherous down there on that
Yeah,
bottom.
absolutely. It's very difficult down there on this part
I
of the
don't think they
track.
touched. I don't think they touched.
No,
though.
they didn't. I think Ron was expecting it and tried to correct that.
Yeah, a
And all,
little avoidance maneuver there,
oh
and
man.
the car just got loose on him because there's a sweet spot in the middle of the racetrack in 1 and 2. If you go beyond that sweet spot on the outside, the back end gets loose. If you go down too deep, the back end could get loose coming off the corner. So it's really tricky down there.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a nasty wreck to have here for Ron Hollifield and the 44 machine and for the other drivers involved in that. So, oh man, our field's starting to dwindle here already, and we're not even a quarter of the way through the race here. Bringing out our second caution for today's race, lap 32 of 140. It's Lyle Swearingen still in the lead, Chad Simpson in second, Jake Walsh in third, Butch Davis working his way all the way into fourth place now and going to have an opportunity here on this restart to maybe even crack his way into that first place spot. But Nate Siefker is going to be rounding out the top 5 here on this restart as drivers get themselves back behind the pace car. It's going.
See if I can get Hollifield, by the way.
Absolutely. And looking here, based on timing and scoring, we have, based on my count, we have really 6 drivers. Nope, they have come out of pits. So 4 drivers, based on my count, that are still in the pits for longer than they should be for a normal pit stop, if you will. And that's going to be Timmy Bates, Ron Hollifield, Jose Vigura, and Chris Walker going to be in the pits still here. Lap 33 of 140. Gateway already claiming 4 drivers for the start of today's race. And I got to say, folks, this has been quite the interesting start to this race, to round number 7 of the Alpha Series. And if we remember, it's Butch Davis and Nate Siefker.
Well, we've got Timothy Bates right now.
Timothy Bates, sir.
What's up, gentlemen?
Welcome to the booth, Rick. Let's go ahead and have a few words here with Timothy Bates as we get ready to go green.
What happened out there from your point of view, Timmy? We know that Hollifield got loose and he got hit. He just had nowhere to go?
Yeah. I come around that corner there. I had some momentum. There was some traffic above us and in front of me. It was making good time, especially on the. I was just feeling it, man. I was just feeling good. And come around, there's some traffic up there and some lap traffic. And you come around that, and there's cars going left, going right, and there's one that's just sitting right there in the middle. And nowhere for me to go.
No, that's a darn shame. That's a darn shame.
Yeah,
You were looking pretty good.
Felt good.
What else to say?
No, I felt good too. It was feeling good.
All right, Timmy. Well, we're sorry to see you out. I guess we'll see you next weekend at Road America. We're getting ready to go green here, Mason.
We certainly are. The pace car going to be ready to drop down here into pit road. Actually, no, it's not. The lights are still on. I think that might have been a decision by race control to extend our caution here just by a little bit.
I could have sworn when I looked at the pace car, I didn't see those yellow lights flashing on the top, unless I was looking at it from the wrong angle.
They just turned off again here. So anyhow, despite whatever is going on down there in the race control
bad.
booth,
I cut the interview a little bit shorter than maybe it should have been.
I think they might have been anticipating us a little bit, trying to take it a little bit longer, but that is a-okay. Next time we'll try and get a few more words in if we have another driver join us after finding themselves in pit road with a little bit of nothing to do other than twiddle their thumbs, so to speak. Go ahead, Rick.
Lights are out on the pace car. Looks like we're going to get the green flag, and there will be 105 laps to go. We're on lap 35 right now. Let's take a look at the standings as they sit at the moment. Lyle Swearingen still with the lead. Chad Simpson, and there's your championship standings, incidentally. Butch Davis still on top. Nate Siefker, Chad Simpson. We'll keep an eye on them as the race goes on. Chad Simpson currently runs in second place right now. Jake Walsh is third, and the man to watch really is Butch Davis because he's come up from 9th place, and you don't want to see Butch Davis. He's one of the last people you want to see behind you as the green comes out once again, and Swearingen jumps on it. begins to pull away just a little bit, but Chad Simpson, he's actually not letting him get too far away. Chad Simpson anticipated that and is just staying right with him right now. We're watching Butch Davis in car 43 chase down Jake Walsh. This is going to be a very interesting battle.
Yeah, absolutely. As, you know, looking at these guys after a restart like this, after any restart really, it's always interesting to see how they handle each one. It's never the same way. I almost have not seen a driver do the same restart every single time unless you're in the lead. So Butch Davis here in that 43 machine in fourth place currently, with Nate Siefker following behind him. Again, these two drivers going to be first and second in the points championship at this moment. Nate Siefker in that fifth place spot, going to be dropping down low here as they come out of turn 2 down the back straight. Nate is slowly creeping in towards the rear wing of that 43 machine, but Butch Davis also down low of Chad Simpson here. Going to be trying, well, actually Jake Walsh, excuse me.
Walsh.
Jake Walsh not too happy about that.
Butch is up to third. Don't look now. Butch is heading for the front of the field. I think it's just a matter of time. Butch has really had the pace all through practice, through the week, and tonight he's had the pace, and I think that he's got the pace to get himself to the front of the field.
I fully agree with that, you know, and I think Nate Siefker here as well, he's slowly but surely doing the same as well, just trying to get comfortable, get himself worked up that field, and hopefully he's starting to crack on the rear end of that 43 machine here before too long, but still a long race left to go. 101 laps before we see that checkered flag fly and determine the winner of round number 7 here at Gateway.
We have another
caution
yellow.
flies again here. Let's see what has unfolded. I'm not exactly sure. Looks like Shane Loveridge.
I'm seeing that's Chris Walker with damage, but that was earlier in the race.
Let's see if our timing has a little bit more information than we might do here. We're looking at Nate Siefker. I don't think that is correct, though. Perhaps Jeffrey Rollett.
Oh, I see. It's Ryan Cruz. Ryan Cruz. He spun around at a 360 between turns 1 and 2.
So let's see here. Ryan Cruz perspective from inside the cockpit of the 99 machine. Just getting on the inside of the curb on the grass. Just
treacherous down there.
Yeah.
I think, he might have hit the curb, actually. That definitely helped to upset the balance of the car.
Yeah, if let's roll back here with just one more time. If we look here from the same perspective, you can see that he is just on. We'll do this one.
Maybe could we back it up a little bit more than that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
with that same view.
Same view. And then let's get the left front tire here.
And watch as he goes down. He dials it down into the corner. So far, it looks like he's looking pretty good. Actually, no, he started losing it before he hit the
right into the grass right here. Bang. Yep. Oh, it looks like he was already spinning, though, right before that. So, yeah, that's a rough spot to be in. Definitely a tough spot. Tough situation for Ryan Cruz here in the 99. Man, bringing out.
I want to point something out here. Chris Samard, who started in second place, has dropped down 11 spots. He now runs in 13th place. Yari Brubpatcher sits in 12th. He dropped down 9 spots. He started in 3rd. So what happened to them during the exchange of pit stops?
You know, and I'm not too sure exactly. And it looks like here as well we have Jose Vigura in our stream chat here actually saying that he was dealing with USB issues for today's race. So a variety of issues arising for our drivers here today, and that's just one of the things that you might encounter as a sim racer. You know, your equipment might be perfectly working the day before, the night before, even the morning before a race, and once you get into it and get comfortable, anything can happen. Nothing is.
That's what happened to me. I'm sorry to interrupt. That's what happened to me yesterday. I had a race, IndyCar race, and with the DW12, and I've never really had any kind of connection issues, but all of a sudden, lo and behold, the race began and my car started blinking. I actually worked my way up to the front of the field in about 6 laps, and I was just blinking so bad it was politely requested that I drop to the back. So on the backstretch, I did just that, and I had to sit there and follow, thinking it would clear up, but it never did. And so I'm still scratching my head over that, and I hope that through the microphone that my latency is okay and my upload speed, and that I'm not breaking up. But you just never know. You just never know when you're going to have an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. But Rick, you sound fantastic, and it's always a pleasure to have yourself here. So everything seems to be A-okay on your end here tonight, and hopefully it stays that way for us, for ourselves up here in the broadcast booth, so that way we can continue to bring you the live coverage here of the battle on the Mississippi at Gateway for the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series presented by ecency.com. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. If you have enjoyed the action you have been watching so far, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned with all the action that we have here on Team Goon Squad 7 days a week. It has been quite the pleasure here, Rick, and I look forward as we get prepared to go green here once again. Lap 44 of 140. It's Lyle Swearingen, Chad Simpson out in the front. Rick, take us to green.
Oh, as I was blowing out a vape, I'm sorry. I missed my cue. Lyle Swearingen, incredibly, still leading the race. I say incredibly because I'm just surprised nobody's been able to run him down in the draft, because this is a great racetrack to, as we've seen, there's a lot of passes through the field, but Swearingen has found something here. This is your winner at Iowa. He does love the oval tracks. That's where he really shines. And as of right now, if I'm not mistaken, my timing and scoring doesn't show how many laps led, but I think he may have led every lap right from the green flag. Speaking of green flag, they're coming through turn 4 right now. Chad Simpson is just behind. Let's see the jump that Swearingen gets on Simpson. Let's see if Simpson can time it and keep it close. Butch Davis also trying to time it and keep it close. And look at this, Swearingen does not have the greatest jump in the world. Chad Simpson behind. Now remember, they're restarting on cold tires, and Simpson does in fact take it a little bit easier going through 1 and 2 this time. Swearingen begins to pull away just a bit, but keep an eye on that second place car of Chad Simpson, because he's got that 43 all over the back of him and ready to pounce. Here he comes on the main stretch. He gets that draft. These guys are teammates, remember. They're running 2 and 3 right now. You don't know what kind of communication's going on right now between them, but I know one thing. Butch wants to win this dang race. He wants to win every race. Probably worse than Chad Simpson does, because Simpson seems to have the attitude this season, let's just see what happens. I've got my championship under my belt. I'm just going to go out there and have fun and hope for the best. He still wants to win races, but I don't think that he's dialed it up quite as much as he did last season.
Yeah, you know, and maybe it's a decision by the driver themselves. Maybe. Oh,
here
look
he
at
comes.
this.
He's got to run
Down on the inside.
Second place.
Going into turn 3, it's Butch Davis taking that second place spot, and not really a whole lot of fight from Chad Simpson.
Yeah. I don't think Chad's going to come back at Butch. I think that Chad's going to let him have the position. I mean, these guys are teammates. They work very, very well together. And Chad knows that, well, like I said, he's got his championship. Butch is in a good spot to win the championship this season. So Chad is probably saying, because he's also he's a great guy and a great teammate. He's probably just telling Butch, go ahead, go after Lyle. Let's see what you can do. And I wish you all the best. This is good stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of good stuff, Nate Siefker down on the inside of Jake Walsh. They almost touch wheels out of turn 2. Down the back straight, Nate Siefker tucking in behind the 33 of Jake Walsh as we get ready to approach into turn 3 here once again. Nate Siefker, another driver here, going to be competing for that championship lead here. Again, we talked about it just briefly before the start of the race. It is 9 points that separates Butch Davis and Nate Siefker from that first place spot in the championship. So Nate Siefker going to be looking to do everything he possibly can here. Lap 50 of 140, 20 laps before we hit that halfway point. And given that we saw drivers come down into pit road, lap 31, Rick, we're going to see drivers probably come down again, I would have to imagine about lap 80 or so, maybe a little bit later, depending on how things go. I might be a little off on my math there, but anyway, anyhow.
Well, they've done 19 laps as of this moment. on this fuel run. So you figure there's about another 20 left. So you're probably looking more around lap 75.
Okay. So I wasn't too off. I can't be too mad at myself then.
I mean, 75 is your stretcher, but we did have that yellow flag. So you could probably stretch it easily to 75. So you know what?
Oh, yellow flag is out.
Oh, yellow flag. Another yellow flag.
I see carnage on the track, but I can't tell who it is. It looks like Kevin Young might be involved in what seemed... Yes, Kevin Young seems to have been involved in a single car incident here. So we get a ride on board here. Actually get a little bit of a different perspective here of the 00 machine. Kevin Young coming out of turn 2. Oh, man. Wonder if he just got on the throttle and his tires just were not quite warm enough yet, possibly. I don't know. I can't really blame that on the tires yet.
Well, that eliminates another car.
Yeah, after a
self-spin.
Beautiful, well, not beautiful, but after a horrible wreck into the outer wall out of turn 2 here, that's going to put Kevin Young back behind the wall and bring out our 4th caution here for the race. Rick, this has been quite the interesting one here as we're getting closer and closer towards the halfway point. Drivers getting themselves back behind the pace car. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break here, and we will be back with more of the battle on the Mississippi at Gateway. Don't go anywhere, folks, and stay tuned for more iRacing here on Team Goon Squad.
Decency, okay. Decency, it's great. I'm having a blast driving around. Yeah, that was a fast lap.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah?
What are you doing, man?
I'm just writing a quick post to the Need for Speed community on decency.
A what for who community?
The Need for Speed community. It's the community on Hive that's all about racing.
How do I get into this?
Just go to ecency.com, sign up for an account, and download the app.
Dude, that's really cool. But now you gotta go.
Yeah, I'm on there every day.
No. I mean, go, man. Go.
Okay, let's go. I recently joined Decency and discovered the Need for Speed community. It's the perfect place for me to share my simulation driving experience with people all around the world. Thanks in no small part to all the support from Decency, Sim Racers Edge is able to stream our races live each week for all our fans. I invite you to join Decency today to follow Sim Racers Edge all season long.
Imagine a world where you can connect and create meaningful communities with similar interests at the touch of your fingertip. And get rewarded for doing so. We at Essency are building a platform to do just that. Essency, set it free and be free. Go to Essency.com to download the app and create an account and support the Sim Racers Edge community.
Back at Worldwide Gateway Technology Raceway. I didn't say that right, but we're back. We're back at Gateway, like I said earlier. Let's just leave it at Gateway. Lyle Swearingen. I swear I'll never get that right, will I? He's still in the lead of this race. Butch Davis has moved up to second place. You see them right there. Look at Davis looking down to the inside, just saying, hey, I'm here. I'm coming for you. This is going to be interesting. Chad Simpson runs in third place right now. Jake Walsh is fourth. Nate Siefker is fifth. And Butch Davis, Nate Siefker, Chad Simpson, like we discussed earlier, those are your top three in the points. And there they are once again surfacing at the top.
And as we get ready and started for our next attempt at a green flag run here, the 4th caution of the race, these drivers have already seen quite a bit, depending on where you are in the field, obviously. But if you're Lyle Swearingen or Butch Davis, this is the point of the race that you kind of have been waiting for. I guess really more for Butch Davis' perspective, I suppose, is this is the moment that Butch has been waiting for, to get himself up here into the top 3. And now to be fighting for that first place spot here as the lights go off on the pace car. This is where we're going to see that dominance of that 43 machine on these oval courses come out. And frankly, The driver that I'm going to be paying attention to, kind of just in the back of my mind, Nate Siefker. I really am curious to see if he's going to be able to pull something off here and crack his way into the top 3 here. He's shown a lot of good pace. Is he going to be able to keep it going into kind of almost the second half of the race here?
Well, the guys in front of him are not easy to pass. You know that Chad and Butch, they're teammates. So there wasn't too much of a fight between those two. But I'll tell you one thing. Lights are out on the pace car, incidentally. Swearingen, leading this thing, wanted to see Butch Davis in his rearview mirror probably least of anybody. It's going to be like a nightmare, but it's going to be a nightmare for Swearingen, but it's going to be exciting for the fans to watch as we go green once again. Let's keep an eye on this battle for the lead. Let's see how quickly Butch can move up and challenge Swearingen as they head through turn 2 down the backstretch. Give him about a lap or so to get these things wound up, and then you'll see Butch start to reel him in. Just watch. This guy's a master of the ovals.
Yeah, and we've seen that already a lot from the 43 machine. If you haven't seen any of the previous action from the Sim Racers Edge Alpha Series on the Team Goon Squad YouTube channel, you should go back and check out some of the previous races that Butch Davis has been featured in, particularly the ovals. Butch Davis, a phenomenal driver here on the oval courses, and I fully expect to see, once he's worked his way around Lyle Swearingen, or essentially caught up to him, once he's out in front in that clean air, it's pretty much game over for whoever's behind him.
9th place. Go back to 9th. Jeff Hollingsworth, Ryan Cruz. Look at this battle. Bentley Glazer, they're all running right together right now. Ryan Cruz, Hollingsworth, they swap that spot once again. The battle is for 9th place. 7th place, Chris Simard and Mike Grandy are going at it. Simard comes out on top of that little battle. But what a fight we've got. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. They're all right together.
And Ryan Cruz at the top of this little line of drivers here at the moment, doing incredible work. We've seen Ryan Cruz involved in a little bit of issues here earlier on at the beginning of the race, but has obviously recouped that, up 6 positions since then, and is now in 9th place currently. Nothing but clean air in front of him at the moment, all the way to Mike Grandy Sr., just about 3.5 seconds in front of him. But look at this, Jake Walsh going to be down on the inside here, coming out of turn 2, down the front stretch in front of Nate Siefker. These two still battling it out for that 4th place spot. Nate Siefker down on the inside here as we go into turn 3. Very good distance between these two drivers.
Not close, that is.
Yeah, that is very, very close. And what impresses me the most is how they hold that going through the turn. You know, they're not bobbing and weaving all over the place. These guys are smooth, and I love to see it. It's one thing, you know, to be able to take one of these cars around the track, but when you're look at this Bentley Glazer. A little bit of an issue down on the top of turn 2. Drivers doing everything they can to avoid the 4 machine. As well, we're going to take a look at what happened here.
Oh, it looks like Ryan Cruz got sideways going into turn 1 just ahead of Glazer, and Glazer threw it sideways trying to avoid him. I don't think Glazer has any damage to that car. We're taking a look at it right now, that black car on the inside. That's Ryan Cruz. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the silver car. You see Cruz get sideways, and look at Glazer. He pitches it sideways, trying to avoid that. And we'll keep watching here. He's going to do a complete 360. Now watch, that's Paul Crumry. Crumry barely misses him right there. What an incredible job of driving by Glazer and Crumry. So they really avoid any damage to either car, but that brings out the yellow. I think that's for the 5th time. And let's go to the pits live. Lyle Swearingen is in the pits. Nate Siefker stays out. He'll pick up the lead. Jeff Hollingsworth picks up 2nd place. Brupatcher moves up to 3rd. But Swearingen, Butch Davis, they're both in the pits. A bunch of cars are in the pits right now.
Yeah, and, you know, kind of playing this this early pit strategy might play in their favor, to be honest. They're taking things a little bit earlier. They're extending the race a little bit. I don't know exactly how this would affect their overall strategy for the race, if it affects it even at all. But coming in on here, lap 53, actually, excuse me, lap 63 of the race, taking about 10 laps actually, earlier than what we were expecting. Was around lap 75 was the latest that we were predicting drivers to come in here. So not exactly too early, but very interesting to see the field taking that cue. But that's going to put Nate Siefker as our current leader, but he's going to be at a slight disadvantage, being on his last pit lap was lap 31. So he's going to be on those older tires. Everyone else going to be a little bit faster than him behind him, but I have a feeling that Nate here is not going to want to stay out here for too long. But how is that going to affect him once he comes back out of the pits?
Well, he's had 32 laps on these tires. This is quite incredible. I can't figure out why Nate Siefker would stay out. 33 laps. What could he get? I mean, there's been a couple of yellow flags, but could he get another 15 laps before he has to pit? I'm not really sure. 15 laps would take him almost to 50 on that set of tires. Jeff Hollingsworth, Jari Brupatcher, and Paul Krumrie right now running second, third, and fourth right behind Nate. They've only got 11 laps on their tires, and just behind them, the guys with the fresh tires, Lyle Swearingen, Butch Davis, Chad Simpson, Jake Walsh, and the rest of those guys behind, Bracington, Samard, Grandy, Ludwig, they all have fresh tires. Now, we just had a report that we had 16 cars left in the race. Well, guess what? After that last incident with the 99 of Ryan Cruz, the administration has requested that Cruz park that car. So Ryan Cruz brings that car down into the pits, and he's done for the day. This is interesting because Ryan Cruz was parked. He was not at the race in Barber because of incidents that he caused at Iowa. So now this brings up an interesting question. Is there going to be some more? Is there going to be another penalty for Ryan Cruz forthcoming? We're going to have to wait and see what happens with that, but that's very interesting. You don't see the SRE park people that often.
Yeah, and it's not always, as a driver, I'm sure not always a great thing to have race control have to tell you, hey, you need to park it. You're not a safe driver for the event tonight. And like you said, Butch, Rick, it doesn't happen very often, especially here in SRE. So Ryan Cruz hopefully going to be able to come back from tonight's race going into next week. I forget already.
He's a good kid. I say kid because I'm 52 years old, but I believe he's 25 years old. He's out of Virginia in the United States, and he's just a real nice kid, But I think his first love is really in NASCAR, but he comes over here and he's getting pretty addicted to the Indy cars, but he's still very green driving these cars, so he's got a ways to go. He's got to work on his racecraft a little bit and just kind of get used to the handling of these things. Of course, that comes with practice. As we're about to go green, looking at Nate Siefker once again. Nate Siefker is leading this race. Jeff Hollingsworth is right behind him, running in second. Jari Brupatcher is third. Paul Krumrie is fourth. Lyle Swearingen, our longtime leader, sits in fifth place, and behind him, of course, Butch Davis. But let's watch now Nate Siefker with the lead coming off turn two. Jeff Hollingsworth with about 20 laps fresher tires. We're going to see what Hollingsworth can do. Can he run Nate down? And if so, how quickly? I still can't understand, as we look at Hollingsworth and Brupatcher running side by side, I can't understand why Nate Siefker decided to stay out. But right now it appears to be paying off. Maybe Nate knows something that the rest of the field doesn't. Nate Siefker is starting to pull away. He's got over a second now on Hollingsworth, and we'll just keep an eye on this.
Yeah, and even despite Nate having that over a second of a gap between himself and Jeff Hollingsworth and Jari Brupatcher essentially at this point. Jari going extremely wide, though, into 3, not a 4. Not sure if he just oversped that entry into 3. But anyhow, it looks like based on even timing, Nate Siefker is being affected by those older tires. He's not quite on the same pace as Jeff Hollingsworth and Jari Brupatcher, but because of his line work, because of the skill that he is taken into this series, he's still able to hold on to that gap, even despite having those just awful tires at this point now.
Go back to sixth place. Butch Davis looks to the inside. Can he get the... Yes, he does.
Oh, no, into 1.
And then he goes into the wall. Butch Davis, oh, my goodness. Car number 43, and there's another car involved. It's Mike Grandy.
Oh,
Butch's day is done. I cannot believe this. Now, Butch could come into the pits and get it repaired, but not to 100%, and he's going to be in the pits for quite some time. Oh, I cannot believe my eyes as we see the pace car also tries to hit him, but unsuccessfully. What a terrible blow for Butch Davis, our points leader. We're going to watch as he hobbles his way back to the pits. Let's go back and take a look at that on replay. You can see Butch to the inside, and Lyle Swearingen, our pole sitter, who led the most laps thus far, you see him back off. Right there, he lets Butch have the spot. He says, go ahead. Maybe he thought Butch was going in too deep. And look at how early the back end starts to come around on Butch's car. Oh, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Butch Davis has been rock solid throughout this season and into the wall with the left side of the car. I'm interested to see how they're going to be able to repair that and how good of a job they could do, because there's going to be a lot of damage. Look at that. Here comes Mike Grandy. That's got to be a sight to see. If Butch has a VR, he sees that car coming towards him and collects Butch as well. But how much damage was done to that car? How long is it going to take to fix, and how well could they fix that? That's going to be interesting. Butch Davis now riding behind the pace car. I guess what he's doing is is he waiting for the lucky dog or waiting for the wave around?
That would be my guess, but I mean, you're just going to have to come down pit road anyway. Maybe he's playing... Oh, man, I don't know what he's doing at this point. He might just be trying to putt it around to pit road to avoid the time penalty for doing the for taking the tow, if you will. So for the folks at home, if you're not familiar with the iRacing service, you have an option when you wreck like this to stop the car and hold down a button. Brings you back into pit road. During a race like this, during an event, it does give you a penalty, a time penalty based on how long it thinks it would take you to limp your way back to the track, or for a tow truck to limp you back to the track, whatever the case may be.
That was a gift for Nate Siefker, the leader, because he was going to have to make a pit stop under green. I can't believe how well that worked out for Nate as Butch comes down into the pits. Stand by for sponsor plugs, incidentally, as we continue to look at Butch Davis coming into the pits. He's going to be in the pits for quite some time. That left front wheel is toast. That rear wing is hanging off the back on the tether. His crew's got their work cut out for them. There's no doubt about it. I just feel really bad for him, but this is going to tighten the points race as we go forward.
Yeah, and as we're
the SRE.
Oh, sorry.
As we see Butch Davis loses it coming into the pits, having difficulty getting in. Butch Davis spun. Meanwhile, let's do a sponsor plug and tell you that the SRE race here at Worldwide Technology Raceway is being brought to you by ecency.com. Set it free, be free. And by Sim Motion. If you need to enhance your sim racing experience, try Sim Motion. And of course, it's brought to you by the racers right here at the SRE. The SRE, it's the Sim Racer's Edge. Back at Worldwide Technology Raceway, Yari Brupatcher is in the lead of this thing, and Lyle Swearingen is going to be breathing right down his throat as we're going to go back to green. Lights are still on at pace car, so at least one more lap under the yellow. We are looking at Brupatcher as we look at the stats. He's moved up 2 spots from his starting position, and he's got 19 laps on those tires. Lyle Swearingen has only 9, as does Jake Walsh, and all the way down to Chris Samard, who's running in 6th place. However, Nate Siefker, who led a handful of laps there and got a real gift when Butch Davis lost control of his car, was able to make it into the pits because Nate was going to have to stop under the green. He's got fresh tires, as does Hollingsworth, Crumry, and Bentley Glazer, Ludwig. They all have fresh tires, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. As of right now, Yari Brupatcher has the oldest set of tires in the entire field, which stretches back to now 14th place, Jeffrey Orlett. Checking in on Butch Davis. I think Davis may have parked it for the day because they're not working on his car, Mason.
And if that does turn out to be true, that Butch Davis has the team has decided to take it behind the wall and call it quits for this race. That's tough. That is.
Let's see if I can get an interview with Butch.
As Rick is going to attempt to get Butch Davis up here in the broadcast booth to have a quick word with us. we are going to go green here very, very quickly. This pace car dives down here into pit road. We are going to see what Jari Brupatcher has in store for the rest of our field here tonight as he takes away the lead. Lyle Swearingen says, nope, not today. Drops down low going into turn 1. The 68 machine doesn't quite have what it takes right now pace-wise to be able to overtake the 89 machine. Great work from Jari holding off the 68, trying to increase that gap now between the second place driver here, doing everything that he possibly can. It's Jake Walsh in the 33 machine here as well that we have seen also duke it out with Jari Brupatcher a few laps ago before we went yellow flag once again. But there you see Jake Walsh working his way around Lyle Swearingen. Very impressive from that 33 machine. We've kind of seen the 33 be relatively tame throughout this race here, Rick. I'm kind of surprised here, but it looks like that we do have Butch Davis up here in the booth to kind of give us a little bit of info and hopefully a story about what happened there just a few laps ago. Butch, walk us through what happened there on turn 1.
I just got a decent run on, Lyle going into the run, and he backed out. I just had the car set up just a tick too loose, and the back end came around and, did the best I could to minimize the damage. And then, Grandy, trying to avoid me, he spun, got into me there, and it's just one of those things, it sucks. I think, as a team at FBR Motorsports, I think we had a really good handle on everything tonight. Lyle, Chad, myself, Dan, and even Jeffrey Roulette. But you can't make mistakes like this. You want to win a championship, and yeah, I've got to stop shooting myself in the foot.
Well, you've had a very consistent season up to this point. I pointed out earlier, 2.83 is your average finish. Second to you, your teammate Chad Simpson, sixth place. You have been the most consistent by far thus far in the series. How bad does this hurt you going forward with your bid for a championship?
It hurts a lot. I'm actually leaving pit lane now, so the pit glitch apparently, me exiting the server and coming back in has helped. But yeah, you can't make mistakes like this. You've got, Nate Seeker out there, Chad, Lyle has been an absolute stud in the last several races, maximizing what he can get. So, I have to just stop being a dummy.
All right, well, listen, thanks for taking the time to join us out here. We're going to let you get back to racing, and better luck next week at Road America, bud.
Thank you, fellas.
That was Butch Davis. We're looking at Lyle Swearingen right now, and it looks like he's Walsh. This is a good battle. This is a battle for second place as Jari Brupatcher starts to run away just a little bit. He's got a second on Walsh, and Lyle Swearingen definitely wants that lead back. He's got one win thus far this season. He won back at Iowa. That was a great win for him. He wants to score win number 2 and be tied up with Butch Davis at 2 wins apiece. I really don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Swearingen was the fastest car on the racetrack for a while, led so many laps. I think he still led the most laps to this point. Now we have Jari out there, Jari Brupatcher. He's run 30 laps on this set of tires. Of course, there's been a couple of yellow flags mixed in there. Jake Walsh with 20 laps on his tire. Lyle Swearingen also with 20, and 20 all the way back to 6th place, Chris Samard. So it's hard to say because even though 10 laps more on Brupatcher's tires, he's still able to hang on to the lead. But now we're watching Jake Walsh has started to reel him in just a little bit. The lead was over a second, but now it's down to 0.6, 0.6 of a second. So Walsh is actually getting closer to Brupatcher as we speak. changed my mind. I'm out of here. I can't deal with this. No, I'm only kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're looking at right now on the screen is Chris Simard, and he is chasing down Dan Bracington. Now, as Mason goes and tries to determine what the issues are with the sound, hopefully he'll still be able to move around in the field if there's some action, but we're looking at Chris Simard inside Bracington. Chris Simard comes around and picks up 5th place. Just behind Bracington now, Nate Seifker. But look at Bracington. Bracington takes a swing at Simard. Is he going to be able to make it stick on the inside? That's the question. Nate Seifker on the outside. Well, I thought maybe he was going to try a run up top, but no. Now it's Simard, Bracington, and Seifker, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Meanwhile, Yari Brupatcher still has 0.8 of a second over Jake Walsh, who has about a half a second over Lyle Swearingen, but we're still looking at this battle. This is the battle for 8th place now. Nope. Nate Seifker to the inside of Bracington. He's trying to get 6th place from Bracington. Is he going to clear him coming off the corner? Nate plays it very, very careful coming off turn 2, and Bracington might get a run at Nate going into 3. No, he's going to stay behind. Bracington stays behind Seifker. Seifker begins to pull away. Nate Seifker, sitting in 2nd place right now in the points fight, is going to try to run down Chris Simard, who's just in front of him in 5th. Chris Simard only 3 seconds behind the leader, and we have a change of position now, a change of position for 2nd place. Lyle Swearingen just came around Chad Simpson and picked up 2nd, unless my timing screen was lying to me. We have another yellow flag. We've got a yellow flag, Mason. I hope we can capture this.
Jake Walsh.
Jake Walsh. Jake Walsh. Now, wasn't he running in 2nd?
He was. He was running in that top 3, and it looks like he's got some issues there in the top right hand, or the, the front right tire.
In 2nd place, Mason.
That is okay. So let's take a look. Oh wow, look at that.
Oh, he banged the wall coming off turn 2 on the previous lap.
Oh,
that's what happened.
Shoot.
He pushed up high.
Let's see if
maybe we can get that on the replay. He was on the high line. Remember what I said as we rewind the tape here.
Everything's.
Did you like that?
That was beautiful, Rick.
Remember I told you there's a sweet spot in turns 1 and 2. It's really in the middle. You can run the low line, but you got to kind of breathe the throttle because you'll spin it coming off turn 2 if you get too much throttle. But if you get too high, it could push into the wall, and that's exactly what we just saw happen to Jake Walsh. Cannot believe he just crashed out of 2nd place. And you know what? We'll see how long it takes them to fix that car. Butch Davis is back out on the racetrack, as we know, 7 laps down. But we might be down to 14 cars in this race if Walsh can't make it back out of the pits. We'll see what they tell him. If there's too much damage, he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we do have a caution now, we are going to take this moment to take a commercial break, and we will be right back for the Battle on the Mississippi at Gateway presented by ecency.com. And hopefully when we come back, you will hopefully be able to hear the sounds on track again. So we will be right back. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and we will bring more iRacing here on Team Goon Squad.
Ecency, okay. Ecency, it's great. I'm having a blast driving around. Yeah, that was a fast lap.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah? What are you doing, man?
I'm just writing a quick post to the Need for Speed community on Ecency.
A what? For who community?
The Need for Speed community. It's the community on Hive that's all about racing.
How do I get into this?
Just go to ecency.com, sign up for an account, and download the app.
Dude, that's really cool. But now you gotta go.
Yeah, I'm on there every day.
No. I mean, go, man. Go.
Okay, let's go. I recently joined Ecency and discovered the Need for Speed community. It's the perfect place for me to share my simulation driving experience with people all around the world. Thanks in no small part to all the support from Ecency, Sim Racers Edge is able to stream our races live each week for all our fans. I invite you to join Ecency today to follow Sim Racers Edge all season long.
Imagine a world where you can connect and create meaningful communities with similar interests at the touch of your fingertip. And get rewarded for doing so. We at Ecency are building a platform to do just that. Ecency, set it free and be free. Go to Essensi.com to download the app and create an account and support the Sim Racers Edge community.
Back at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the SRE race here at Gateway. We're looking at Jake Walsh in that blue and yellow car. He just came back out of the pits after his accident in turn 2. He pushed up in turn 2 and hit the wall with the right side of the car. Came into the pits, was hoping to not lose a lap, but he did in fact lose a lap. He is now 1 lap behind the leaders, as is Jeffrey Roulette. As of right now, we're looking at 11 cars on the lead lap, and they're separated by about 3 seconds. Well, this is under yellow, of course, so I'm looking at the telemetry, and it shows 3 seconds, and I believe the lights are still on the pace car, so we're going to go around at least one more time. So let's run down the top 10 for you. It's Lyle Swearingen back on the top where he started the race. Chad Simpson, the ever so smooth and consistent Chad Simpson, now runs in second. Nate Siefker, given a gift earlier when he chose to stay out and lead the race on older tires. Butch Davis then spun and hit the wall in turn 1, which brought Nate into the pits. He needed that stop. He got it. He runs in 3rd place. Dan Bracington sits in 4th right now. And Mike Grandy, who incidentally, if my memory serves correct, when Butch hit the wall, Grandy also spun sideways and hit Butch, but he didn't hit him hard enough that he did a lot of damage, so he still runs in 5th place. Yari Brupatcher, who led the race for a little while, just a few laps ago, before this yellow flag, he runs in 6th. Chris Samard, car number 77, 7th place. Paul Crumry is sitting in 9th as Bentley Glazer now moves up to 8th. And rounding out the top 10, one of my favorite conservative people, Jeff Hollingsworth in car number 97. Pace car comes around. Pace car through turn 4. Lights are out on the pace car. Lyle Swearingen brings them around one more time. Chad Simpson might play it safe here and conservative on the restart, but you know that Nate Siefker is probably going to push Chad pretty hard to get past him and then chase after Swearingen for the lead as the green flag comes out once again, and we're racing at Gateway. Keep an eye on the leader, Swearingen. Chad Simpson right behind him. Swearingen pulls a little bit. Remember, these tires are very cold at the moment. Nate Siefker now begins to close in on Simpson. We'll see what he does in turns 3 and 4. He's going to want to stay out of that wake, and he does. He goes to the outside. Simpson, again, playing it conservative, playing it safe, but Nate Siefker, a little bit more aggressive, is probably going to challenge him here pretty soon. Let's see what happens in turns 1 and 2. Siefker again on the high side. He's got to be careful because of the marbles up there, and he does lose a couple of car lengths to Simpson as he goes through that corner, but Nate Siefker is all over the back of Chad Simpson. Just behind Nate, of course, Dan Bracington. We'll keep an eye on this battle. And Siefker again loses a little bit of time, a couple of car lengths to Chad Simpson.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's coming down to Nate having a little bit of issues here tonight, possibly. Maybe it's just he's not too comfortable with this setup with the track that he's currently trying to use. Maybe I'm just overthinking things a little bit, but either way, Nate Siefker kind of in this spot right now where he's in 3rd right now, but still trying to do everything he can. But we have a battle for 7th place. It's Yari Brupatcher, Bentley Glazer.
Glazer's all over him.
Yeah, absolutely. Glazer in the 4 machine, just on the rear wing of Yari Brupatcher here. Brupatcher, excuse me, going into turn 3. Looking down on the
inside there. I don't know why he didn't take a shot at him there, Mason, because he really had a good draft going down the straightaway, was able to basically draft him down the entire length of the straightaway, but he still just chose to tuck in behind.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers here seem to be kind of taking that cautious approach to a lot of these overtakes here as well. I almost want to say I've seen that quite a bit here tonight, where drivers have had that window open up for them. Here it is open again for Bentley Glazer, still taking it a little bit easier here. Probably also attributed to the fact that he didn't have quite enough speed there that time around. But anyhow, when they still do have that door open to them, it's interesting to see them kind of just be like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. Maybe next time. And it's an interesting strategy here, but things are starting to settle out here on the field as Lyle Swearingen, still our race leader. Chad Simpson in 2nd place. Nate Siefker in that 3rd place spot. Another driver that we have seen kind of settle out and kind of just take things easy here as we are approaching the final kind of quarter of the race here. Lap 102 of 140. Rick, things are starting to get spicy here for our drivers. And what are you kind of expecting from Nate Siefker at the moment?
Well, Nate Siefker wants to win this race, but knowing that, Nate actually got the left sides on the rumble strips down there. You don't want to do that, Nate. You don't want to throw this away. You've come this far. You've got a chance to, I don't know what the points shake out, but maybe take over the points lead. So he's got to play it kind of safe and careful, but knowing Nate, he wants to win this race pretty bad. The leaders are really starting to spread out amongst each other. Let's drop back to 10th place. I want to say a little something about this guy. Look at that pretty orange and black car of Paul Crumry. Paul Crumry is one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. If you ever have a chance to talk to him, you would just thoroughly enjoy that conversation because he really is, just as they used to say, a swell guy. He's a patriotic man who loves this country just about as much as anybody I've ever met in my life. He served our country in Desert Storm, incidentally. So he is a veteran, and I just have the utmost respect for this guy. He has come up 8 spots. He started in 18th. Not a great start for Crumry, but he's moved up 8 spots, and now he's sitting in the top 10. So I just wanted to throw him out some love. Love you, brother. Doing a great job tonight, and let's bring it home.
Crumry doing everything he can here tonight to take home the top 10 right now in the 15 machine. Hopefully he'll be able to continue on this trend here. Lap 106 of 40. The end of the race is just in sight, and the 15 machine is looking to possibly take home that top 10 spot. But right now, it looks like Yari Brupatcher still holding off Bentley Glazer here, as well as a few other drivers kind of starting to form some battles here as things start to get closer and closer towards the end. About 34 laps left to go here before we see the checkered flag fly. And Rick, I'm almost half expecting to see.
I don't know why I do that.
I think we're gonna see. I hate to say it, but I have a feeling we're gonna see some more cautions come out here. Whoa, that was a wild. Who was that?
I'm not sure. Was that Jake
Looks
Walsh?
like Chris Simard. Yeah, I think that was Chris Simard.
My screen.
Nope, that wasn't. Oh, Bentley Glazer. Okay, so that. No, that wasn't Bentley Glazer.
That was a close call.
That was very, very close. Either way, anyhow, you don't want to see drivers get that close to one another.
You definitely don't. I just want to point out that the leaders, Swearingen and Chad Simpson, the top 2, have gone 45 laps. They're going to be doing the pits anytime now. I would say within the next 3, 4, maybe 5 laps. It was pointed out that the fuel window is somewhere between 36 to 38 laps. And these guys, of course, they have the benefit of the yellow flags to help push that distance a little bit. But they're getting kind of close here. As Paul Crumry picks up 9th place, I think Bracington is in the pits. Yes, Dan Bracington comes into the pits.
So as the 29 in 10th place right now comes down into pit road, Paul Crumry, that we just mentioned a moment ago, working his way now into that 9th place spot. But the couple drivers that we're going to expect to see come down here into pit road here very, very shortly, along with Dan Brasington, it's going to be Lyle Swearingen as well as Chad Simpson. You can also kind of throw Nate Siefker as well as Mike Grandy into that mix here as well in the top 5 at the moment. So that's going to have your final kind of shakeup here at the tail end of the race for our drivers on the lead lap. And Rick, I gotta say, with just under 30 laps left to go, I gotta wonder how this is. Oh, look at this, Lyle Swearingen coming down here into pit road. He's gonna start his pit cycle here as early as possible.
Picked up the lead. That'll bring Nate Siefker into 2nd place, incidentally. So, the first one to blink is our pole sitter, Lyle Swearingen. We're watching right now Chad Simpson, Nate Siefker. Well, there's Swearingen coming into the pits. Chris Simard will move up to 3rd place in car number 77. Well, Jake Walsh just called out. He's coming in as well, but not a factor any longer. Jake Walsh now 2 laps down. just called out he's coming into the pits. But Chad Simpson picks up the lead of this race. Could this conservative style actually pay off in a race that has just been filled with carnage?
Yeah, that's going to be that's a tough one to say, Rick. This race has, like you said, it's seen a lot of carnage, a lot of drivers that were very strong competitors in this race. Speaking of Butch Davis in that regard, we've seen a lot of strong drivers being taken out here at Gateway, and just with only 26 laps left to go, and Chad Simpson now working his way down into pit road. It's going to be Nate Siefker in the lead at this point.
Finally leads a lap.
Finally leading a lap here.
Oh, no, he did. I'm sorry. No, he had a handful of laps earlier. Then he got that gift yellow flag.
That is correct. Yes. So either way, though, Nate Siefker going to have a couple extra laps to work with here. His last time in was lap 71. Not exactly a whole lot to work with. He's probably going to come down here into pit road, I would have to imagine, the next 2 or 3 laps at the most. But given that we're 24 laps left in this race, and these guys are, man, they're going to be, they're only going to be heating things up here, Rick. I think that as we get...
Nate's coming in. The leader's coming in.
Here we go.
So Nate Siefker is going to come into the pits, and guess what? That's going to bring Chris Simard, the classy Chris Simard in car number 77. That's going to give him the lead. Now, he's had 24 laps since his last stop. A couple of yellow flags involved there, too, I believe. Or maybe not. Maybe just one. It's hard to keep track, and our timing screen doesn't show every single bit of detail. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So 25 laps for Chris Simard. Now, let's add another 20 to that. Where does that bring us? 28. Lap 138. That brings him within 2 laps of the finish of this race. So Chris Simard, if he conserves fuel, he's got a 2.8-second lead on second place Yari Brupatcher right now. I don't know how long Chris Simard can go, but if he can make it to the end, if he can conserve and get to the end of this race, and it's very possible, he could just pull this off.
And it's definitely not out of the question, but Chris Simard is going to have quite the competition to handle around him, especially as Nate Siefker as well as Lyle Swearingen are now back out onto track. They're going to be on those fresh set of tires, and they're going to be clicking off some pretty impressive lap times here. Currently, we are seeing lap times from Chris Simard in the 77 of about 25.5 seconds. And I'm sure as Lyle Swearingen and Nate Siefker get those cold tires warmed up. Look at this, though. Chris Simard coming down here into pit road, 21 to go. Rick.
He's only run 27 laps. He must have short-filled. I don't understand. I don't understand why. Why
must
is he coming
have
into the pit with only 27 laps on those tires?
He must have a different plan. He may even want to finish the race on maybe fresh tires and maybe just a little bit extra fuel. I'm not sure.
It really doesn't make any sense because now he's going to be a lap down. This is a
pretty
small racetrack with a long pit road, a long straightaway. So he's going to go a lap down here. The only thing I can guess, I could be wrong, but it doesn't make any sense why he would come into the pits. Maybe the last time he short-filled. If you short-fill, obviously, a little bit less weight in the car, a little bit quicker. Being as though we've had so many yellows in this race, maybe he thought he could get away with that and then pit again when a yellow came out, but we haven't seen a yellow in quite some time.
Indeed, yeah, it has been quite some time since the last time we saw a yellow flag, and it looks like based on timing and scoring, that last time was lap 90. So with 18 laps left to go here.
Inside. This is the battle for the lead. Brupatcher has it at the moment, but here comes Glazer, and he runs it down low, sticks it down there, and Bentley Glazer for the first time today in that pretty pink and white car. Or is it purple? He picks up the lead, but here comes Brupatcher. He's going to fire right back. He's got to be careful on that inside line. He's got 31 laps on those tires, and that inside line is very unforgiving.
Yeah, it's been unforgiving all night long, and Yari Brupatcher here, I want to mention, he has shown some incredible consistency throughout this race. Now, he may not have been competing up in the top 3, maybe even the top 5, but he has consistently worked his way up here to be where he's at right now, holding on to second place, up a position from where he's started at I believe since the last time we went green here. Following behind Bentley Glazer, with 16 laps left to go, I'm sure he's not too thrilled of being put back down here into second place after leading some laps. But Bentley Glazer as well, he is showing some incredible pace here in this final section of the race here. 15 laps left to go, and things are starting to look a little bit uncertain as far as, well, if Nate Siefker is going to be able to, Lyle Swearingen or Nate Siefker are going to be able to get themselves unlapped here once again and competing for.
Check this out. Let's go back to Lyle Swearingen because Nate Siefker is right behind him. And guess what? This right here could be the battle for the lead if Glazer, Brupatcher, and Hollingsworth can't make it. Paul Crumry runs in fourth place. He could be on a complete fuel strategy run, but I don't know if he can make it either. And Nate Siefker is all over Lyle Swearingen. Both of these gentlemen can definitely make it without a doubt. And if Nate is going to take the lead, he's going to have to do it right here. Here he comes. Nate Siefker down to the inside as they head for turn one. Is Lyle going to give up the position? Siefker clears him. Siefker, oh, we have a car that just went around. Who was that? Let's take a look. That was Jeff Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth spun from second or third place. But he continues on, and Hollingsworth's going to bring it into the pits as we stay with the leaders. Who could potentially be the leaders if Glazer and Brupatcher have to come into the pits. They come up on Butch Davis. Davis stays up high and lets them go. Actually, look at this. Swearingen's going to get caught up behind Butch for just a moment. Now Swearingen makes the move and comes around and continues to try to chase down Nate Siefker. Now, like I said, these guys could be the net leaders, as we call it in this racing, the net leaders. If the leaders, Bentley Glazer, Jerry Brupatcher, Paul Crumry, have to come into the pits, Nate Siefker would have the lead, and Lyle Swearingen begins to fall back about 8 to 10 car lengths on Nate Siefker. Let's go back up to the leader while we still can. Bentley Glazer, he's got the lead by 1.3 seconds over Jari Brupatcher. And our patriotic friend Paul Crumry in that pretty orange and black paint scheme, he's running in third, but no, he comes into the pits, so he's not going to be able to make it to the end. That'll move Nate Siefker up to third place. Now, can Bentley Glazer make it to the finish line? We've got 10 laps to go. It's highly unlikely, but he's in turn 3, and he's keeping it out there. Maybe he's hoping for a yellow flag. We don't know what's going to happen, but he's got 1.6 seconds on Jari Brupatcher. And Nate Siefker and Lyle Swearingen, I don't think they're not trying to run him down. I think they really realize they've got the fuel to make it to the end. And Bentley Glazer, Jari Brupatcher cannot make it.
Yeah, and just riding on board here with the 4 machine of Bentley Glazer at the moment, just trying to listen in on that number 4 machine and get an idea.
Watch the gear. Watch the gear. He's in 6th gear. Okay, he goes to 5th, 4th. Okay, 4th, he's still getting some umph coming off the corner. That could be for only one reason. I don't think he can make it to the end.
Does not seem like.
He's either throwing caution to the wind and saying, well, I know I can't make it, so I might as well just lead as long as I can. Because if he was trying to save fuel, and he does have a full 2 seconds on Jari Brupatcher, if he was trying to save fuel, he'd probably just kick it down into 5th when he comes off of turn 2. But he's going down to 4th. But it's very hard to say right now. Jari Brupatcher, 2 seconds back. Nate Siefker is, looks like, yeah, he's a lap down from Bentley Glazer. So there's no way that Nate could catch him through sheer speed. This time by, Glazer has just 6 laps to go now. 6 laps to go for Glazer. This is going to be interesting. Brupatcher is definitely trying to conserve. He's just dropped back another 0.3 of a second on that 1 lap alone. So Brupatcher might be, well, let's watch him now as he comes into the pits. Brupatcher cannot make it. Glazer is the only one. No, Glazer is also coming into the pits. So that's it. That's it for those two. Nate Siefker will pick up the lead. Siefker comes across the start-finish line with just, I believe there's only 5 laps to go now. I'm looking at his timing. No, Nate still has 6 because he was a lap down. So 6 laps to go for Nate Siefker. Lyle Swearingen, 1.2 seconds behind Siefker. But at this point, Siefker is in the clean air, and he's got the pace. He's found his rhythm. I think you're going to see your pole sitter, Lyle Swearingen, finish in 2nd place. Can you believe Nate Siefker? He actually might pull this thing off. He had kind of an up and down day, was kind of huddling around there in the top 5, top 7, always at or near the front of the field. But now, towards the end of the race, Nate Siefker with that strategy pays off.
It definitely has, and more than Nate probably thought it would. And after some time, kind of halfway through the race, both yourself and I, Rick, we were kind of wondering if Nate was going to be a competitor here towards the end of this race, especially with Butch Davis still a contender at that point in time. Here he is now in first place. Man, I'm sure that Nate is going to be absolutely thrilled after tonight. And 3 laps left to go here. He's going to see that white flag and eventually the checkered. If we can keep things together here, just one more lap longer, a couple more laps actually, before the white flag flies. But Rick, it has been a phenomenal race, and for Nate Siefker, all he's had to do is just keep his nose clean, and we have seen all types of carnage tonight. So it's surprising to see that Nate able to keep that number 2 machine out here on track alive. 2 to go here. Nate is looking to take home the win here for the battle on the Mississippi at Gateway.
1.2 seconds is his lead on Lyle Swearingen. Nate is probably taking it a little bit easy, doesn't want to spin the car, doesn't want to make any mistakes here on the last lap. As Nate Siefker comes off turn 4, he'll see the white flag. Not this time, I guess. I don't see it. Well, there it is, the white flag. I'm sorry, on my screen I wasn't seeing it, so I thought I looked up a timing again, make sure everything was right. Nate Siefker on the final lap. Last week he won at Barber Motorsports Park, absolutely dominated that race, leading from start to finish. This time, strategy pays off for Nate, and in battle with Lyle Swearingen, the pole sitter, he just came out and flat took this one. Nate Siefker takes the checkered flag and wins back-to-back races in the SRE.
A phenomenal win for Nate Siefker in the 2 machine. An incredible and well-deserved win for Nate. And just a lot of really great timing for Nate Siefker. Just waiting for the rest of the field in front of him to cycle their way through pit road. And he had it in the bag. And ultimately, Rick, he had a solid performance throughout this race, and I look forward to seeing Nate Siefker go into next week's race, hopefully, at Road America.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for that one. I think that Nate's going to also, once again, have an advantage on the field at Road America, but Road America is a very, very, very large road course circuit with long straightaways, so perhaps they might be able to stay with him a little bit better on that racetrack than, say, one of the smaller road courses.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed watching these guys tackle these road courses throughout this series. It has been absolutely phenomenal. This healthy mix of oval, road course racing, gotta love it.
Nate? Oh, look at Nate. Nate parks his car. What are we looking at there?
My apologies. I was too busy typing out to our folks here in the chat that I got a little.
We missed the donuts, but that's okay. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna pull Nate Siefker up into the booth. I'm sure that he is the happiest man on the planet right now. There's your race results, and incidentally, you can see it right there on the screen. Nate Siefker takes home the win. Lyle Swearingen, I got that right. There's no more T in his last name. Lyle Swearingen is going to finish in second place. It's a little blurry for me, but I can see Chad Simpson is third. Car number 77, Chris Samard, is going to finish tonight in fourth place. Yari Brupatcher takes home fifth. Bentley Glazer salvages a nice sixth-place finish. Dan Bracington is going to take home seventh. Mike Grandy in eighth. Jeff Hollingsworth, another great patriotic guy, incidentally. He's going to take home ninth place as Paul Crumry, our Desert Storm veteran, will bring home 10th place. Right now, in the booth, we did, and then now he's gone, but now he's back. Don't know what happened to Nate, but in the booth right now with us is your winner, Nate Shoey Siefker. Are you doing a shoey right now, Nate?
No. One per month is good. So we got our one for the month, and we're good until April for now.
That's got to be pretty nasty tasting, huh?
Yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah, that's why you only want one a month. I wouldn't even do one a year. I don't know how you could stand it, but congratulations. Tell us about your race today.
Yeah, starting 10th wasn't ideal. We hit the wall in the second, the money lap, so that wasn't very good. Traffic, the first 70 laps was difficult to work with. Just trying to figure out what runs I could do, and how to pass, and it was a struggle bus there for a bit of it. But we got out front. We led a couple laps there in the middle of the race there on strategy, and wasn't sure how the strategy was going to work. There was 3 different strategies that were working. All 3 strategies could have won the race if certain things happened. I knew my strategy was pretty close to the best. The strategy Lyle and Chad were on. Chad saved a lot of fuel, so that's
Well, I
why he.
wanted to talk to you about that strategy because you were out there and you had a whole lot of, I don't remember how many laps you were out there, probably about 30, and you decided to stay out when the rest of the leaders came in, and you had to have been due to come into the pits in the next 10 or 15 laps. You really rolled the dice there.
I mean that theme of the race there, the trend was that we were going to get a yellow in 10 laps, so
Right.
I was kind of banking on that. Um, so just playing the trend, played it correctly. And then I was just, the trends of these races, these, short oval races is you get a long green flag right at the end. And I thought that was going to happen, and we got one. So we banked on it, we got it. And thankfully it worked out in the end.
Yes,
It
it
could have
did.
easily gone the other way though. Really easy. But thankfully it did. We had a good
Thank
points night. We capitalized on everything we needed to do, and we succeeded.
you did.
That's how you win championships, is
You
just doing the little things right. So we did that tonight.
Well, you're definitely right about that. Tell us about that battle with Lyle Swearingen in the closing laps. I think there was probably about 15 laps to go, and you were right there with him. You knew you had to get. Did you know you had to get around him because the leaders had to pit one more time?
I knew that was the lap I passed him on. That was the lap I had to do it on. I knew if I stayed behind him 1 or 2 more laps, the tires were just gonna
Right.
overheat, and then I was just gonna be stuck. So I knew I had to go. And I'm surprised he ran the bottom. I ran the bottom. I was the only person all night that ran that line, and I could make it work if I only had like a car. I was
Well, we
contending with the
saw a
dirty
few other
air.
guys do it, but they didn't do it too well.
So yeah, and I think I had the right settings. I had a settings that worked for the top. Not the top, but the top lane and the bottom lane, and we made it work. I'm glad we made that pass work. I think that lap, if I don't make it there, it's probably game over, honestly. But yeah, the tires at the end there, those last 3 laps, they were toast.
All right. Well, we have Lyle Swearingen now. He finished in second to you, and while we've got you both together, Lyle, is there you dominated this race. You sat on the pole. I think you led the most laps. Our telemetry, our scoring doesn't tell us who led the most laps, but towards the end of the race, you had Nate coming up on you, and he was all over you. What was going through your mind at that time? Did you know that if Nate passed you, the race would basically be over?
Yeah, Dirty Air was a little hard in the corners, and when I saw him just gaining time, and I'm just like, what am I doing wrong here? And he finally got to me, and I couldn't hold him off. And once I got on the Dirty Air, it was difficult to find a line to get the time back. Just overheated the fronts, didn't get as much grip as I had, and just had to just do what I can to at least salvage second, or hope he made a mistake.
Yeah, well, you definitely you really did dominate this race, especially early on. You just led right from the green flag, and I guess that was probably your plan, was just to put it out in front, put it on the pole, keep it out in front.
Yeah, it was a little treacherous on cold tires for sure. It took about 3, maybe 4 laps to really get the heat in and to really get after it. So if you're in traffic, it was kind of tooth and nail, just trying to make sure you don't get ran into or you don't run into somebody else. So definitely having the pole and being in the front on restarts was definitely a good thing.
All right. Well, before we let Nate go, let's give Nate a chance to say anything to Lyle. Nate, you got anything to say to Lyle before we go?
Good race. That's all you can say in these situations. Yeah, it was fun though, for sure. He's a good guy to race around. Pretty clean. I've never had an issue with him, so as long as we stay like that, I think we'll be fine.
Well, I'm sure everybody in the field feels that way about everybody. Everybody wants to keep it nice and clean. Nate, congratulations again. Go ahead and give your shout outs.
Yeah, thank everybody for coming out tonight. Really awesome to see a lot of faces here tonight. A little less yellows would have been nice, but that's the nature of these short ovals, is you get some yellows every now and then. I want to thank our partners here at Sim Racers Edge, ecenc.com, and Inside Sim Racing and Sim Motion as well. Great group of people as well that are on board, so we're really pleased about that. I want to thank my personal sponsor, Midwest Kidney Warriors, for being on board. Really awesome to have him on board. We didn't use the chrome paint tonight for the night race. We just used the normal. We used the normal one tonight, and it worked out in the end. So, thank you to Shane for being on board, and thank you guys, of course, for being up here in the booth and broadcasting the race for sure.
Well, thank you, Nate, and congratulations again. You've gone back to back. We look ahead to Road America now. That's again, that's one of your strong points, the road courses. How do you see that thing shaping up?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, yeah, I think
Are you as
that'll be.
strong in Road America as you are on the other road? I mean, you have those long straightaways, so it might not be so easy to run away from the field.
I don't know. I think that's one of those races. We'll see. I think Butch will be strong, of course, and I think you'll probably see one or two other guys that pop up out of the woodwork and or do a decent job. So we'll see. Of course, I'm not going to try to hype myself up, but I think it'll be an interesting race next week for sure.
All right. Well, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week at Road America, Nate.
Appreciate it, Rick. Appreciate it, Mason.
Okay. Mason, why don't you go ahead and take Lyle, second place?
Lyle Swearingen, sir, you have had a phenomenal race here tonight, and honestly, watching the 68 machine start from the front and, well, you kept it all the way up here in second place. Lyle, what was it like dealing with all the carnage that you had throughout the track, and kind of walk me through what it was like just trying to keep that second place spot?
You had to start there in clean air. It was just kind of we want to say a walk in the park, so to say. You start hitting the lap traffic. You just pick and choose the line that they're not in to try to get around them cleanly. Um, Other than that, when Nate got to me and he got by me and just try to do what I can to get back up there, just at least make it hard for him. But he just had a lot there right at the end.
I'm sorry, we
Absolutely,
got a little
Lyle.
bit of
Oh,
dead air there. I'm
nope.
sorry, I was just checking out the point standings. It looks like Nate Siefker has taken over the points lead by how many points over? Oh, 24 points over Butch Davis. Chad Simpson still in third, but this was really a good day for you. This was. Would you say this was almost as good as a win? I'm talking to Lyle, incidentally.
Yeah, I mean, kind of sucks. You lead the most. I'm pretty sure I led the most laps, or at least just a big chunk of the race, and then
Yeah, did everything but get the win.
yeah, do what you can. I'm not sure if I got fastest lap, but definitely sucks just getting past there. And I mean, I'll take second. I mean, what are you gonna do?
All right. Well, you're definitely a class act. Before we let you go, let's give you the floor so you can give your shout outs.
I'd like to thank Eats and C for sponsoring our series, and Motion, and then Goon Squad for broadcasting this for us.
And there you have it. Lyle Swearingen, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we turn our attention to the third place finisher, our defending series champion, Chad Simpson. Chad, why don't you tell us about your race? You were really conservative during that race, but there were times when you felt the need to turn it up.
Yeah, sim car was pretty decent all night. Just kind of chasing it a little bit. It gets loose here, tight there. Lap traffic was interesting. Moving everything around, just trying to run in the traffic, and then you get clean air, and suddenly it wants to snap on you.
Yeah.
So I spent most of the race just kind of taking it easy, saving fuel, and trying to survive. My goal was basically just to get to the end in this one, and it turned into a fairly decent points day, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, earlier in the race, I believe you were in second place, and Butch was behind you in third. We know that you're in constant communication in the FBR team chat down there. When Butch made the run, were you guys communicating? Did you say, well, you know what, you go ahead and take it because you're the one who's running for the championship this season?
Yeah, I was in map 3 at the time, and I don't think Butch was saving, so he got a run on me. I was like, hey, I'm saving, go. And he did what he did. It's unfortunate that he self spun there in 1 and 2. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I know you talked to him. I'm not sure what he did. Maybe too much yacker. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we interviewed him during the race, and that's exactly what he said. He put a little bit too much in there, and back end just came around. But next week we have Road America. Is that a good track for you? Are you looking forward to that? How do you see that one shaping up?
Yeah, congratulations to Nate on his win next week. We'll see how this plays out. Road America has kind of been, I don't know, as far as road courses go, maybe like a mid-tier road course for me. It's not as bad as Barber, but I finished second at Barber, so you never really know.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the congratulations to Nate already. I used to do, even just 2 or 3 years ago, Nate and I ran the same series, and I used to do the same thing to him when the road courses were coming up. I would say, congratulations on your win next week, Nate. You say, oh, no, Rick, I'm not going to let you get in my head. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And now and here you are doing the same thing. And you didn't even know that I used to do that to him.
No, well, I mean,
Hilarious.
It's his thing. It's a road course. It's, whatever. Good win.
That's great. Hey, Mason, you have anything for Chad?
Chad, you had a great race here tonight, and it was phenomenal watching the 42 as well as the rest of the field here all really kind of handle this challenging track that is Gateway. Chad, I think Rick already touched on pretty much everything that I had for you here, but I want to congratulate you on taking home third place tonight after just a treacherous field that we had here. Well, really a treacherous track that we had here for this field. Chad, is there anyone at home, anyone watching the broadcast, anyone in the pit crew that you want to shout out or thank before you head out here tonight and celebrate?
And thanks to Satellite Racing, FBR Motorsports, acency.com, SimMotion, you guys for putting on the broadcast, all my teammates doing this race. I wish that we had a bit more green flag running at the end there. I did have a possible fuel save strategy to steal it, and I decided not to go for it, and I regret it. So, we'll see.
All right, Chad, congratulations again on the podium finish here tonight. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that's Chad Simpson, your third place finisher tonight, Mason. This was definitely a race that had a lot of ups and downs. We had a lot of lead changes through the pit stops, through yellow flags, different strategies. We did have a dominating Lyle Swearingen throughout the first half of the race, but then after that, it just seems like all heck kind of broke loose, and you just didn't know what to expect here tonight.
Yeah, Gateway definitely bringing us a lot of curveballs here for tonight's race. And after seeing, just an incredible start to the race and kind of seeing potentially Butch Davis working his way through the field to only find himself essentially out of the race almost. He's taken home 14th tonight. Rick, it was just absolutely incredible watching all of these strong drivers just try and battle this just gruesome track.
Indeed, it definitely was. So Nate Siefker is going to take over the points lead. Incidentally, he's got 24 points over Butch Davis, who has led right from the first race. Now we're 6 races in, and Nate Siefker takes over the lead. 43 points behind is Chad Simpson. That's your top 3. Lyle Swearingen is going to move up as well. Let's see, he moves up 2 spots into 4th place. And Jeffrey Roulette is in 5th place at this time as the points stand right now after Gateway. So, as we wrap things up here, we take a look at the final standings today. Nate Siefker brings home the win. Congratulations to him. Followed by Lyle Swearingen, Chad Simpson, Chris Samard, Yari Brillpatcher, Bentley Glazer, Dan Bracington, Mike Grandy, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Paul Crumry. That's your top 10. So we hope you've enjoyed this running of the SRE Battle on the Mississippi at Gateway, and we hope you'll join us next week as we head to the beautiful natural terrain road course at Road America. For Mason Heimball, I'm Rick Ravon saying thanks for joining us, and so long from Worldwide Technology Raceway.